So the first thing that you should probably do is decide what type of watercolors that you'd like to use. There are many different kinds of watercolor out there available. Some things that we're going to use, these are tube watercolors, but what you might be used to are these things right here. These are pan watercolors. So you'd open them up and then put a little bit of water on them with your brush, and then they come back to life, and then you can paint with them. So these are what you might be used to from elementary school or even middle school, but they also come in other varieties too. So these are tube watercolors. With these watercolors, you can take a little bit, squirt it out into your palette, just a tiny bit, ooh, a little tiny bit, because you don't want to use these like acrylic paint. These are watercolors. So you want to just do the same thing, take a little bit, and then put some water in them to dilute them and make them exactly what they need to be. Some people like to take their tube watercolors and put them in a pan that you can reuse. So some people might see this thing and think that it's a really big mess. It's actually not. These are just tube watercolors that have dried up and they can be reused again. So you can just do just like pan watercolors, where you take the tubes and you let them dry, and then you put your brush in and that color just comes back just like that, and you can paint with it. There's also some other kinds of watercolors that you can get. These are watercolor pencils. I would only recommend these for fine details and things like that. And you don't ever want to dip them in the water. You want to draw or color with them first. And then after everything is done, then you would go back and put water on top of them, and that turns it into paint. So those are the main different kinds of watercolors that you can get.